Welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was like 9 minutes of pure awesomeness. Sulochana, tell us about the musical element. That was a vocal masterclass coming from the bottom of my heart, and then to narrate it as well along with it. Tell us about the experience and who were involved in this.
Yeah, absolutely. At the beginning of this year, I joined up with Expographic Bookstore in Palawatha and started to dramatize the stories of Sibyl Wettasinghe, who was one of my idols. And the way I bring those stories to life is through sound and movement and puppetry and dialogue and musical instruments, and mainly through audience interactions. So as we perform through the year, that has become a family hit, and I've understood the value of just simplifying the telling of a story by only using your body and voice. And when Isuri drew such beautiful illustrations for the books, the simple is complex. So I wanted to do justice to it and not kill the book with the performance. So Isri and I were throwing back and forth the ideas, how are we going to launch this book? Because it's not, you once again kill it if you just read it straight. So the balance between a fully blown out dramatized performance and just a simple reading was the idea to come up with a unique soundscape for each spread of the book. And certain soundscapes actually have inspiration from existing Sri Lankan and international tunes, and these were tunes that I grew up with as a child. So since this was a bedtime story, we kind of collected a couple of the most soothing and most favorite tunes, Sri Lankan classics and international classics, and the soundscapes have been inspired from that. But mostly it's just done through two human voices. All the sound effects is done through just two voices, and it's a reminder for any reader that the human voice is a very powerful thing and it can do incredible things.
And of course, music is the language of heaven, they say. So I guess
absolutely.
I think you hit the nail on its head on that.
Absolutely. And once again, I've been blessed with collaborators. I've collaborated with Isuru Kumarasinghe, who was our sound engineer for the audiobook, as well as Tilina Dikaram, who's the other voice artist.
We're talking about the opinion leaders' comments on what you have delivered, and bearing in mind that I'm actually having this book in my hand, you got a beautiful comment from Sibyl Wettasinghe that you would like to share with us. You've got a text that you've received from her, if you could read it out right now.
Absolutely. And once again, Sibyl Nanda's stories shaped my childhood. So this is what she had to say about the book. The boy who slept in the sky takes us back to the dream world of childhood fantasy. It's a soothing experience, a refreshing thought. It creates a sense of global togetherness. It's an adventure into the realm of unfathomable charm.
Wow. What did you feel reading that the first time?
Well, she was there at the launch, so that was a huge honor for us, and we actually gave her the first complimentary copy. And it was a great, kind of a great moment for me because, I mean, I love Kudahora, that's my favorite story, you know. So to have the creator of Kudahora see my first book, that was a very special moment.
It was a legendary moment, I'm sure. Now, reading this book, I know I listened to the audiobook as well, so I'm having mixed thoughts on it, as in what exactly do I feel? Is it just for me or for everyone else? I'm wondering, do I get the imagery when you read every line? It doesn't need to be just Isuri's amazing work here, but then in my own mind, there's so much of a story that goes on. It's like a film strip which goes on every line that you've written. Was this intentional, or tell me about it? I mean, it looks very simple, but then it's so much more, so much of depth, and so much of meaning goes underneath.
Actually, that was a challenging point for us as creators in figuring out, is this too complex for a child? And what I told Isuri is, this is my personal experience of traveling around and living with different communities. So in my head, it's a story read out by an adult for a child. So and then that was just confusing. Well, who is it for? Is it for the adult or is it for the child? So that's why we said it's for the young and young at heart, you know. A child old enough to read and understand can still enjoy it, and a child too young to read can have it read out.
I mean, that way we can actually put it to sense that, you know, even a child can read this to an adult.
Absolutely.
So it can actually work either way, yeah? Absolutely. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you're not talking much. We can focus on you a little bit on the, I know, the lines we've talked about, the wordings, and of course Sulochana did what she was supposed to do, and I think everything is perfectly fine. I know the fact that it was a tough process, 500 emails to and fro, so much of input, so much of effort, so much of hard work and dedication going underneath. Tell us something that you've never shared on any show before of what really went inside this book. Something extra that you would like to share, maybe an unforgettable experience or something to add on.
Something extra.
I know it's a loaded question, so you can think about it and let me know. Maybe one email that you really changed the momentum, maybe from the 500 emails that you got.
I guess there's no like one specific
All
email.
500 emails.
Yeah. It kind of like worked itself up to that point where we got to that like, aha, okay, that's it, like we have to go into finals and like finish it, I guess.
Okay, so I'll ask you this. When Sulochana gave the final go and saying, okay, this is a final copy, approved, stamp on the ground, what did you feel?
I think it might have been the other way around where I said no. Yes.
Wow. I'm getting
Where I said
she gave the final go.
Absolutely. You know,
And what did you feel?
any creator will tell you there's never a final approval. There's always something that can be changed, and finally somebody has to somebody has to take the stand and say, you're not meddling with this anymore. I'm sorry, I don't have time, I'm going to go into the final prints. Whether you like it or not, this is it.
So it comes to a mutual agreement, is it?
Yeah.
We can call it that.
It wasn't.
No, I think the fact that we are on talking terms shows that it was very much a mutual agreement.
So she gave the final go, is it? And said, this is what I want to see, and then y'all came to a
well, in Sri Lanka, a lot of things depend on deadlines, and we were trying to make the deadline for the September International Book Fair, and we did make it, and a huge thank you goes out to Samewaldana printers who printed this book for us.
Okay.
So they kind of, gave in to all our demands and got the book out in time for Colombo International Book Fair. So the timelines, I mean, there had to be a specific time by which the final artwork was sent. So that was the deciding point. Okay, this is it. If we don't get the prints out now, we're never going to make it for the September Book Fair.
And it did on time. Exactly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How's the response so far?
The response has been very encouraging. Everyone who came for the launch bought a book. So, and we've gotten some great reviews online on Amazon. So it's available on Amazon as well.
All right.
And people say it's so unique, and a lot of adults say we wish we were children so our parents could put us into bed and just read this book to us, So I think that's the most rewarding comment, that it allows you to regress back into what it feels like to be a child again.
And the reading the book proves it. And I can guarantee you, it's from a third-party person who came here to the interview to say that after reading it, and of course, watching and listening to it, just close your eyes and listen to it. It sounds brilliant. And then you read this, and you see the brilliant imagery that Isri has put from her own hands. It's just mind-blowingly fantastic. So kudos to you both for doing something terrific. Isri, now not only this, you are involved in a lot of art, I'm sure. You do study in this field, yeah?
I've studied.
You've studied.
Yeah.
Tell us how that began and what sort of art that you've done so far in your life.
Well, I guess it started with art college, where I was in the States for 4 years. I finished a degree in illustration. And then I came back last year, June.
Okay.
Then I guess I've just been freelancing as a full-time illustrator.
So is this your future ambition as well?
I guess it is my ambition.
It is your ambition?
Yeah, because I'm actually currently doing it.
Okay.
And I'm actually making a living out of doing it, so yeah.
Alright, any future plans, maybe for next year, any New Year resolutions in context to this?
I guess write my own stories now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wish you all the best then for that.
Thank you.
Sulochana, what about you? 2014 and then upwards.
2014, God, I don't know if I'll ever write another book. It's just so much work, and then it's like having a child. You know, you literally have to take care of everything.
May this moment be the deciding factor that Banu here on Good Morning Sri Lanka literally is begging for you to write another book, and then one day you could say, you know, Alisha Banu did, so that's the reason why I want to
well, if you help me market and sell it, absolutely, I'll write another book.
We're always here for you.
but it's in because we are still a developing country. I mean, it's pretty much a do-it-yourself concept, you know, and you've got to do everything from the creative concept till it gets to the hand of the final consumer.
And I think you need to focus on which media they use as well, especially the social media.
Absolutely.
Facebook, maybe Twitter.
Absolutely. You know, and it's a full-time job by itself. You know, so that's what's challenging for both of us, because both of us are we are working full-time. But it's a very supportive community to be in. So and one thing, you know, Isri and I were just talking of on our way here, is that it's a great time to be back in Sri Lanka to do things like this, because the communities are very receptive.
Very, very nice. It's an amazing opportunity that we got, especially me here as a host, to read this and of course watch and listen to that audio clip. Any final thoughts that you would like to share with the fans and potential fans out there?
Absolutely. I would say thank you to everyone who's been part of this process. So many people read the rough drafts and helped us out every step of the way. Thank you to the original composers who have given us permission to go ahead with using their tunes, and they've done us a huge service because this is our first creation, and a lot of people helped out. I mean, it wouldn't have happened without any of them, and especially Ashanta Joseph Piris, who helped us with the input for the audiobook as well. And everyone else is thanked in the book. I mean, we can't really thank everyone because there's just too many people to thank, but this was definitely a group effort.
But it is indeed. I want to wish you, on behalf of the entire crew here at MTV Sports Club Good Morning Sri Lanka, all the best to the both of you. And
thank you. And I'd also like to say we are performing the book around Colombo, so if you want us to do a performance, visit our Facebook page.
Of course we shall, and you shall for sure as well, because I'm asking you to. Well, thank you once again for being here on this amazing Monday morning, and we'll surely next year see you back on the show.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. We'll be back after the break as well. We got photography skills coming up with Mr. Shehal Joseph after the break. Stay tuned with us.